Bad guy trapped in a glass cage of emotion. And phobies. Also phobies. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday night, and of course that means we have viewer games here in Phobieland. It's still Christmas season. It's Christmas Day something. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that loses track, and this is meaningless time at the end of the year, but who cares? It doesn't matter. It is, for most people, that's how it is, so I guess we'll lean into it. It is just before New Year's by the time this goes live. We will, of course, be in 2025, so hi, people in the future. My 2024 was horrendous, so hopefully here's to 2025 being a much better year. Spoiler alert, I'm not very optimistic. But we can be optimistic that people are going to have some sick games for us to look at, and we're going to dive into those shortly. But of course, before we start, I do have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means the Phobies team gives me coffee for producing Phobies content. And I actually, now that I'm saying that, I need to make sure I email them for this month's content so we can get more coffee for next month. And eventually, we'll do a pack opening. Eventually. I'm thinking I wait until the 1 year. Wait until the 1 year and then kind of go from there. And by 1 year, I mean the anniversary. I don't know why I said 1 year, because it'll be year 3 for Phobies. But we're going to be jumping in. We don't have as many games. I think people are, doing what they should during the holiday season, hopefully spending some time with family and your loved ones and that sort of thing. If you celebrated Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you're not celebrating Christmas, that's fine. Hope that you were able to at least get in time with your loved ones in the season. So, let's jump in. Let's get our first game up and running. Let me turn down the volume. A little loud there. Like I said, there's only 7 tonight. So we'll have a shorter stream, pending if people submitted, like 80 million turn games, but we'll see. All right, first one up. First one up is dearh on Ergo. How to tackle an over-leveled Blastomatic with under-leveled Erratic and Bad Omen. I mean, I like the sound of this strategery here. I gotta get the right thing up. Noah, what's good? Atona, what's going on? We're gonna look at the game. We'll come back to that. So, Gravedigger opener out of our hero. Oh, I will say as we're doing this, I don't know how many, I always say this, but I don't know how many people watch the games that aren't them. Like a lot, obviously based on the view count, there's a lot of people who are watching the games. But I don't know how many people who submit games watch the other people's games as opposed to like clicking the chapter to go to their game. So I should have said this in the beginning, although everybody probably skips the intro. Everything I'm saying is a joke. Like, if I'm busting your balls because you didn't favorite your game, like, yes, it is a pain in the neck for me, but it's not that big of a deal. You don't feel obligated to apologize. Believe me, there are significantly more important things going on in the world than whether I have to spend an extra 15 seconds hunting for your game. It does make my life easier. Just saying. But, Anyway. Gravedigger opener, we need to see what's the level differential we're working with here. This is a level 25 versus level 7. That's a pretty big differential. That's pretty big. I also didn't favorite your game. In fact, I didn't even like games, or I don't even like games. Well, based on your other comments, Atona, on many other streams, yeah, it kind of seems like you don't like any games. You just hate all the games. Always. All right, we get a puff coming out of bad guy. That's not a good sign for our hero here. I don't love this plan, like the poke plan. I mean, maybe if we see a shove shark and we see, like slowly poking them into range, you really need to, and that's the problem with a lot of the old map design. Old map, like Ergo is one of the original maps, and an issue with just small maps in general. It is very difficult for your over-leveled opponent to make a mistake that you can capitalize on because there just simply aren't as many places to position. So it's very hard for them to be in the wrong position. You could look at it the other way and go, well, it's very hard for them to avoid a bad position, but because they're over-leveled, there's very, very few places they would be that would let them hang a phobie so that you can just snipe it. But we do, in fact, see the Shove Shark coming out. This is kind of what I expected. We're going to try and do a poke game. It looks like, and to bad guys' credit, a lot of people always bag on whatever bad guy happens to show up and be like, oh, well, they're positioning so poorly, they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong. But at the end of the day, they do have a level advantage, A. So, yeah, they don't have to be as careful. B, for many over-leveled players, they almost have to do it in order to, like, have a challenge in the game, because otherwise they just stomp everybody. And C, it's probably correct for them to play a game of just trading keys, which they didn't end up doing here. The Blasto does make it, and we'll take a look at the Blasto. It's probably appropriate for them to try and trade keys, because if they do that, they are whittling down your reserves, and all of pound for pound, like, their keys are worth more. So, like, you need the bank of keys to trade a bunch of your stuff into theirs, and they'll get more value out of their stuff. But anyway, 25 on the level for Blastomatic, almost 5k HP. Big numbers. Big numbers. Alright, so we got an erratic. With the Shove Shark, double one movers here. But because of the Gravedigger, you can set up some cute plays where either you break the center open, that allows you to get stuff, which is what we're going to... Ooh, we're getting the block instead, which was going to be the other thing. This allows you to extend the range of erratic, or clearly force your opponent into certain positions. Or they got to waste a bunch of time killing it, which they probably will. We're about halfway through the game. We'll see what happens. But with the Panic Point advantage, bad guy does have to make their way across the board. Only one key left, 3. Basically, the game's going to be decided with what's on board. Alright, bad guy is content to just blow up the statue. They are not content to blow up the statue. What is happening? I think the idea here is that Gravedigger's back online, so they didn't want to blow it up right away. Slash, they're trying to dodge the erratic. Alright, so the boop, but this should not kill it. Even with 3 hits, you're going to get a great bomb, which this looks like bait from dearh. As long as something doesn't die. There's the snowball. That's a lot of damage on erratic, but not nearly enough to kill it. We're going to leech, like, everything here. Big ol' splash hits. Notably, snowball doesn't die. Yikes. And I kind of agree with the call from dearh here. You got to stand your ground here, try and blow some stuff up. Gravedigger can clear out snowball. Puff is going to die to... Wait, what? What are we going to kill Puff with? Oh, we're doing this so we can reclaim the point. That makes sense. And... Oh, yeah, it's not dimensional. For some reason, for a second, I was like, oh, Puff is dimensional, so it kills it and gets sucked onto the point, but that's not the case. Bad guy with interesting play. I mean, you do get... I feel like you would have done more damage. I'm not going to pause it and do the math, but, like, I feel like you would have got more damage if you just did 2 hits there. But it does leave the Blasto in range of the erratic, which is probably the real reason you wanted to move. But I feel like bad guy just straight up lost on that line. I don't know if that's how it... Well, you can just move the erratic now. We're going to leave it. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't love this. I guess you kind of had to. So the reason I don't love this is because the Blasto can get... I'm pretty sure it can bomb through the statue, right? I guess not. I thought it could, but maybe that's not the case. I always forget about some of these weird edge cases. I should have them memorized by now, but, like, I gotta be honest. They come up, like, once in 100 games. It's like, oh, yeah, how does that work? Whatever, who cares? So now we're claiming 2 bottom panic points, and I gotta be honest, I don't see how Bad Guy gets out of this. That one turn where you kill Puff and Snowball, which kind of did feel like a bait from dearh. I don't know if dearh had done the math to say that, yeah, you can't stop me. Like, you can't kill my team, and therefore I'm going to get a great counterattack. You have to counterattack and then kill, like, almost everything. Or otherwise the game is just over on the spot, and that's pretty much what we saw. So very well played. Like I said, it's a challenge to get someone to commit to an error on a small map when they're over-leveled like this, but it's certainly and obviously not impossible. I still wish levels would go away, but, I mean, what are you gonna do? That's not gonna happen. And when this Blasto bites the dust, it's going to be the nail in the coffin. I would play a game without levels, personally. Do you think, like, legitimately, would you play Phobies if they remove levels tomorrow? Even with the terrible pack system? I mean, the pack system arguably gets better without... Well, no, not arguably. It definitively gets better without the leveling system because you remove dupes from the packs. So it's not possible to be like, oh, well, I'm getting... Instead of getting a new Phobie, I'm leveling up all these other ones. With no levels of packs. Yeah, they would have to rework the packs to make it more difficult to get stuff than it is today removing the dupes. Because if you remove the dupes, like, that's a lot of the packs. I don't know how they would do it. I don't think it's possible. Mistletoad. I still haven't seen this guy in action. I do love that it exists, though. Total Revenge. It's almost fitting with the turtles. I mean, we got the punk frogs, but... Packs might need to be one piece. It could be like a gachapon. I don't know what that means. I'm going to be seeing those damn turtles in my sleep at this point. I mean, I kind of do anyway. I don't think I've had a turtles-related dream in a while. Probably, when I say a while, probably since I was a kid. Although, like, I haven't opened up the turtle from the other day, Leonardo, or the Donatello metalhead set that my wife got me a while ago. I gotta open them up, but I gotta clean off the table that's behind me. You can see, like, where Shao Kahn's throne is and where these other things are sitting on. And, like, that little one right there. I gotta clean those off so that I can set up some more dioramas and stuff and take other pictures. How the hell did you lose that run? You were doing 230 damage a hit. Yeah, I don't remember having one, Atona, but I'm confident at some point in my childhood, because I love turtles so much, that, like, I had to have had a turtles-related dream, right? I had to... Oh, like... Okay, portals, yeah. Like, I do feel like the run... Like, the build that you showed probably is, like, a regular build once you get to the point of, like, basically maxing everything out, because the intent is that you're going to be doing every portal. So you kind of have to do all those things. But some of the portals then make it almost impossible. Like, the one that cuts the options, like, you can't get a build like that then, because you just won't have the options to be able to get it. I don't know. All right, we'll pull up the next game. And then when you would stun, deal 200 instead. Like, that actually seems ridiculous. Were those, like, those had to be legendary, right? Maybe not both of those, but at least one of those was a legendary talent. Skill, whatever. I'm debating whether to break masteries out of the skill sheet, but I think we need to figure out whether they are tied, like which ones are universal and which ones are tied, but that doesn't really impact the organization of it, I guess. All right, chat, we're back with drtyBeanWater on Muso Mia. Dial to kill on pterodactyl. What? Dial to kill on pterodactyl. Probably to get a kill on pterodactyl. But it was written as kill on pterodactyl. I don't know. The ladder is legendary. I was thinking of doing the same thing. It might be cleaner to break up the spreadsheet that way, so that it's like masteries and skills. But the thing is that you select them from the same thing. I mean, they're not turtle powers, but like they consume the turtle power slot when they're presented. So that's why I was kind of torn. I'm fine with splitting them out. There is a level where it's like, why do we have 7 billion tabs? But I don't know if it matters. Either way, our hero, early lead on the panic points, now handed over to bad guy. Pterodactyl taken to the skies early on. The terror of the low ranks. I'm telling you, chat. I would love to interview the devs for Phobies. There's so many questions that I want the answers to that I don't think even if I interviewed them, they would answer. The one that has been plaguing me, that Karst has brought up on many occasions, because we disagree on this. Mostly because Karst likes to bring up a old comment from the devs about, we want every phobie to be, if not equally viable, I forget exactly what the quote was, but like, if not equally viable, then equally useful. So it's like, okay, this is a niche phobie, but like, that's a reasonable scenario for it to come up. You know, like you could engineer the scenario and build a strategy around it and make it happen. Something like that. I'm of the opinion that some phobies are, if not literally designed to fade away as you rank up, as you skill up, that they do that now, like they do that naturally, and the devs are not interested in modifying that sequence. Pterodactyl is one of those phobies where it is just brutal when you are lower ranked, when you don't understand how to properly deal with it. But once you do, it does not feel as though... It's like it's still a threat. It's a mobile damage, like fairly high damage dealer. But as with most Resurrect phobies, once you get drony, it's like... they're almost not in the game. This is very risky. I have to imagine that our hero's jar is going to tank this pterodactyl. There's no other reason to do this. Or maybe it's the bait with the dial, because here is the dial. So, like, if this pterodactyl goes in, it could go onto the obstacle, snipe the jar, and then be safe. The problem is, then you hit it with the dial and can just shell it with Innocuous when it moves, the snowball, follow-up phobies. Oh, baby. I got bad news for you, bad guy. That, you just gave up 7 keys. Like, now, bad guy's response here with the fire ant means that, hypothetically, if our hero spends a lot of time killing this pterodactyl, they can't properly address the fire ant, because you do kind of need to rush fire ant if possible to prevent it from just laying down 7 gazillion traps and then ruining your day some number of turns down the line. But in this case, our hero is pretty much in control of the middle... Oh my god, is this really happening? This is where Onda pops in and goes global warming gaming. Because we're about to see a firestorm. Most likely. Okay, so yes, the answer to the earlier question, Jar would have tanked the pterodactyl. We got Tick as the follow-up. Slap. Cooking the fire ants. Apparently not immune to fire. This is like, can you incinerate dragons in fantasy lore? Like, I'm not talking... I'm sure there's lore where it's true, because I'm asking a very broad question, but like, a fire-breathing dragon, if you had a flamethrower big enough, is that, like, actually a weapon that can harm them? Most of the time they live, maybe not most of the time, but there's times where they're depicted as like living in lava flows and in a volcano or things like that. I don't know. For balance purposes, you can't have every fire phobie be immune to fire, but it's kind of funny when they are. Down goes Pterodactyl. We're trading Jar and Cassowary for Pterodactyl effect. Wait, what? Dude, you did that much damage to that fire ant? I didn't even know. Oh my god. Bad guy. Bad guy in shambles. Bad guy in drtyBeanWater with the Boo Fairy. I feel like this is becoming one of their signatures. I think it was Beanwater that had used Boo Fairy previously. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, it's going to kick my ass. Because, like, I'm not one of those people that, oh, it's New Year's resolution time. I'm going to go to the gym. I've been very lazy over the last month or two about exercising in, like, any capacity. And I can actually feel it now. Like, I feel... Like, I can feel the weight adding up. And it's not even, like, a lot of pounds. Because I do weigh myself still, and it's like, yeah, I put on a few pounds. But we're talking, like, between 3 and 5, depending on the day. You know, like, compared to what I'm normally at. But we'll say the distribution of said weight is definitely different than it was previously. And it's not going to be fun at the beginning of the year. I'm going to try and do it in a healthy way, get back into things. Like, I bought a standing desk a while back, or I was gifted a standing desk, and I bought like, just a flatbed treadmill that I have under the standing desk. So I do walk during the day, because otherwise I would never get enough exercise, but I haven't even used that in a while. I was just kind of standing, which I guess is better than just sitting all day, but it's still not good. All right, so we got the OG Shove Shark for no reason, as we diverge from my health hour, sort of. I want one of those sitting/standing desks for work. Sitting for like 4 hours straight sucks. I work for more than 4 hours a day, but I take break. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't mind it, but it is, like, it's not good to just sit. It's definitely better, and, like, what I do is I'll just put it on low, like the treadmill, so it's like, I'm not doing a ton, but it's better than just sitting there, right? So, like, I'll be reading a document, I'll be checking emails, I'll be listening on a call, I'll do whatever, and then I'll just, you know, just getting the steps in. I don't know why this is the motion for getting steps in, but we're doing it. Looking more like Walk the Dinosaur. Bad guy, trapped in a glass cage of emotion. And Phobies. Also Phobies. Sorry, Beanwater. We got a little sidetracked, and not necessarily on the the Baconator under your Christmas tree, which people did comment on and thought that was really funny. There were people commenting on the video about the Baconator under the Christmas tree, but we got a different discussion going. All right, GG. I get up and walk every hour. I think I read that, but yes, I used to try and do that, like make it a point when I was streaming. Like to go out of and be like, okay, every hour, I'm going to take a break. And I need to get back to that. Because I do think it's also, like, aside from the health of, like, just sitting sedentary in one space for many hours on end, and I've definitely had that over time where it's like, I can feel it in my legs and in my, like, my feet and legs feel weird if I sit for too long now. Because my chair is pretty comfortable, so it's like, I'm not uncomfortable sitting in the chair. But if I'm sitting there for a while, I'll definitely notice it. It's also when I'm streaming, it does help because of the time block that I'm streaming in. Like, I go to bed after I stream. So, in order to, like, I'll get up, I'll go walk upstairs, I'll walk downstairs, like, once or twice while I'm on break or something like that. Go refill my water, that sort of stuff. So that way it's, like, I'm more cognitively aware. It's more entertaining then, as opposed to me, like, half falling asleep. Alright, third game of the night, we got noobsim. I might be inactive until July 2025. This is probably one of the last games I'll submit. No! Well, noobsim, I will say that I hope that everything is okay. In all sincerity. I hope that it's not for, like, a bad reason or something. And we will be here. At least I certainly plan to be here when you get back. So, look us up when you are able to get back into the Phobies scene. But let's take a peek at the game. Baconator under the Christmas tree is pretty funny. I mean, yes, it is pretty funny. I kind of want to know if there's like a Play-Doh or Lego or something like that. Like, there has to be a Baconator toy, right? Or something that you... Because now I want to, like, put a Baconator under the tree, but I don't want to put a literal Baconator under the tree. It would fit very much with what our Christmas traditions are. So, like, I used to... Because I still have my Optimus Prime voice change... Well, I have 2 Optimus Prime voice changing masks. And I would put one of them, because honestly, it was too heavy to wear. Because it also had a voice modulator built in. And the thing was just literally heavy. And it would weigh, like, you sit it on your head for a while and it wouldn't feel good. So we would put that instead of an angel on top of our Christmas tree for a number of years. And then every year on Christmas Eve, I read Chosen One Day, which is a Transformers story, obviously, Christmas adjacent, when, spoiler alert, Starscream takes over Cybertron. And he invents a new holiday called Chosen One Day. And, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. When I was streaming 8 hours a day, I would try timing a quick walk with ad breaks. Make a great time to go to the kitchen, get some water. I mean, I have the timer down there, but, like, it's a lot of work to manage the ad breaks. I probably should. So we were not stalling for time, but kind of killing time in the opener as we get our hero with a 3-3 panic point stalemate. Very similar openers by both players, although bad guy. Going with Gravedigger on this map, I don't love Gravedigger on this map, and to be honest, most of the games that we watch, people don't even bother with this bottom panic point that's over there. Like, they just kind of skip it. Occasionally we'll see people take it. And obviously here, what the hell was that? That was like weird fuzz that like flew in front of my eye. But here we're getting the dynamic duo of Hevos. We're missing the middle brother, but the answer from bad guy is Sparky. And with no displacement tools, this is kind of a threat to our hero because Sparky's tanky enough that it's unlikely that you're going to be able to one-shot it in a single set of volleys, but it looks like we're going to go for it. No, we're just repositioning. Never mind. I was going to say, I don't think there's enough damage there to kill the Sparky, and if you don't, there's a lot of potential retaliation. Now, our hero is adding Stabby to the mix because I guess we want to slow the game down further. This gives bad guy the opportunity to bring in Ray Chargels, yet more electrical damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 keys, those for noobsim. Are we going to get... It would be funny if we got plaid. Wouldn't really make much sense in this context, but it would be funny. This is... Yeah, this is the better play. Now bad guy is about to... That worm feeling, that's the pee running down your leg, bad guy. Because Akira is going to cause some serious issues. Saquon got... I don't think he got 2,005 yards today. I assume that's cumulative. Or do you mean that he got 205 today? I don't know what his actual stats are at. Do you think he breaks the record next week? Who are they playing next week? I should know it as a Giants fan. Even though he's now on the Eagles, but living in Eagles country. He got 2005. Okay, on the back of 167 today. I mean, I could see him doing it. And I could see the coaching staff like trying to get him the record. I think that's possible. Are you gonna kill this Evo? Even if you do, like, I don't think this is good for you, bad guy. If you don't kill this Jin Sting. If you kill this Jin Sting, okay. Okay. Let him cook. Oh, we do play him next week? Yeah, he's gonna get it. He's 100% gonna get it. Are we gonna get an Akira, though? Probably not, based on this. Oh, baby. When this Akira strikes, it's going to be brutal. Instead, we get a 5-to-1 panic point advantage, and I gotta be honest, I don't know what the hell bad guy does at this stage. I do think the invade that they staged on the last turn looked way better than I thought it was going to. Because they were able to secure those 2 kills, so that seems a little sloppy from our hero. It seems a little bit sloppy. However, this Akira pull is just going to be... Wow, really? That is a lot of electricals. I have come to respect Ace over time. I've come to respect Ace, but there's still 10 turns left, and I feel like... Alright, 3 turns from now. 2 turns from now, we'll say, is when I'm predicting the Akira pull. Because I think the game will continue after the Akira pull, but bad guy's going to be crippled. You do have to chew through an enormous amount of HP. So if you don't get a double Hevo hit, even with Boom and Gonzo, assuming both have meaningful connections, it's still going to be a challenge for our hero. Because, like, what I think you have to do is you need to move Akira up 1 so that you pull the Hevo into range while pulling everything else into range. And you have to hit a ton of stuff with this. Alright, so we're going to give up the snowball, though. We do get the stabby, but, like... Alright, I think we got a Akira on this turn. Does bad guy make an error? You can't with the... Does this work? No, that's a double move. Alright, so not Akira this turn, which means that my original prediction was still... Right? I don't know, I'm losing track. Yeah, bad guys just... They're doing a good job making this awkward. But here it is. This will pull everybody in. We're going to get a good boom hit. We're going to get a juiced double Hevo hit. Kablamo. I feel like I would have targeted the Hevo so that you can hit the Sparky. But I guess maybe that isn't necessary. That is just a hell of a sequence to go out on there, noobsim. Gonzo goes down, but a sacrifice the team is willing to make. And then there was one. Sparky, the lone phobie standing for bad guy. And, yeah, it ain't gonna matter at this stage. Well played, noobsim. Well played. As I said at the beginning, good luck in your, I guess, travels, we'll call it. But, like I said, we'll be here when you want to come back. Down goes Sparky, down goes bad guy, GG. So the Packers beat every team that's not good? That's probably true. I haven't watched them that closely. Giants defense is giving up 4.7 yards per carry this season. I think you'd have to go back to how did they do specifically against Saquon, because I'm willing to believe that they did worse in that game. I remember it being worse. Could just be poor memory. I don't know. Like, there is a world where I could understand why they traded him, even to the Eagles. But, like, that team is just a shit show and has been for years. If you look at it statistically, I think since I forget what year it was. I want to say 2015. Maybe it was something earlier. The Giants have been worse than the Browns statistically. Like, they've lost, they won less games or lost more, however you want to look at it. They've had more issues. Like, it's bad. They're a bad franchise right now. And there's no two ways about it. Like, it is legitimately embarrassing. They have, honest to God, ruined football for me. Like, I don't enjoy watching football now. He averaged over 10. That's what I'm saying. He averaged 10 yards per carry against them. Yeah, he's getting it. Like, it's not going to not happen. The only way it doesn't happen is if the Eagles coaches choose to not, like, they just take him out of the game. He chooses not, like Saquon chooses to not do it against the Giants. Or the Giants somehow import an entire new team. Like, those are the only options. Browns at peak Browning was a meme. I don't know if Giants... Yes, the Giants are a meme. Like, they are a joke. Well, it depends on how you look at a meme. Because, like, the Giants... It's not funny. It's just sad. Whereas the Browns... And I have... My best friend is a Browns fan. And has been for many, many years. And... Even he would, like, he hates the Browns because of, like, what they do. But it's his team, right? The problem is the Giants, like, they're not fun to watch, and it's just such bad football. Whereas the Browns kind of would give hope. There was a little bit of hope for the Giants at different points, but, like, sometimes the Browns, like when Baker Mayfield was there, like, actually made things look decent. They had a season with, like, Colt McCoy years ago that looked halfway decent. It's like, oh my God, are the Browns actually turning it around? And then they would have a hysterical collapse. The Giants are just pathetic. The Giants look phenomenal today. I'm going to have to watch the replays. Like, I did see the scores, but it's blacked out where I am. But they played the Colts, like the Colts are not good. Although the first thing I saw on YouTube when I loaded it up is a clip of a Colts fan being like, how bad are we that we lost to the Giants? And, like, that was his whole statement. I think the Browns' funny is they would draft good players. But they didn't, though. Like, they drafted Johnny Manziel. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? It was never going to happen. It was just not going to happen. They also play in, like, a decent division. Like, the Steelers are perennially strong and have been for a long time. The Bengals started to have an upswing even before, like, they had flashes of brilliance even before Joe Burrow and, like, the current revamp. And obviously the Ravens. Like, the Ravens have had a history of also performing pretty well over the years. Like, the Browns are just funny. Remember that one season they had Peyton Hillis blow up super popular and get the Madden cover? What happened to him? Didn't they trade him too? Or did he just quietly go away afterwards? I can't remember. I legitimately cannot. This is the problem with the Giants. They've made me hate football so much that, like, I have fallen out of being as into it. And I don't want to. It's like, it's not that I don't want to watch football or don't want to be more involved or whatever. It's that They suck so bad that it actually saps the fun out of it. I can't even watch other teams as much anymore. Because what I was doing for a while is when the Giants had been so terrible, I would watch other games, not the Eagles, anybody, please. But, like, I would watch other games, and it's like, oh, well, this is at least a good game. I'm enjoying this game. It's exciting to watch. And now it's like... the encroaching dread has made it worse and worse. But anyway. I'm sure we'll continue. Marky is our next hero on deck. Oopsie Baby versus Oopsie Baby. Close game, only 30 HP left on my heart. Spoiler alert. Was that Madden 12? It couldn't have been that long, was it? I was going to say like 2013 or something. Like 2013 to 14 or something like that. Was it? 12 is right? To be honest, what year is... I guess that is right. The Steelers fan would generally watch whatever game is likely to be the best game at the time slot. 13 was Calvin Johnson, 11 was Polamalu Fitz. It's funny because they have those like hair commercials with Polamalu still. And it's like, I wonder how many people actually know who he is anymore. I'm at that point where it's like, man, all these players, the youngins don't know their history. Like, now I feel like I'm at that point. I do wonder, like, do people recognize who these players are? Like Peyton Hillis. Does anybody know who the hell Peyton Hillis is? All right, we're not getting a whole lot going on here on Mount Blight. Panic point advantage is going in favor of bad guy. Of course, I say that our hero decides to advance. I don't like the positioning of that cat. I feel like you want the cat to cover the bachelor. Oh my god, what is going on? It's weird how football players become obscure, even big ones. Basketball players become celebrities forever. I can't imagine Shaq not being recognized. I want to say it's something to do with how many players are on the field. See, like, this is what I was saying. If the cat was in position, you could kill this. I mean, I guess you can kill it anyway with the Jin Sting. And then replace with the cat, so it's not a big deal, but it gives you more options on the follow-up turn. I think, anyway. But yeah, I don't know if it has something to do with, like, well, there's so many teams, and the way the NFL works is making a superstar on every team. So, at the bare minimum, there's a star player for every team, and then there's probably multiple star players. So, year to year, there's just a ton of names. And the reality is that performing at a high level with the way the NFL is across a long period of time is just really difficult. But yes, like, Brady is still very much recognized. He still gets talked about all the time. That's probably a better comparison for Shaq, I would think. I think people still recognize the Mannings. That sort of thing. But I would not be surprised if, quote-unquote, nobody remembers Phillip Rivers, for example. Pull the oopsie. We're going to pop the oopsie. Popping the oopsie. Is this just dead? Via bees? Bees! That's not enough. Yikes. Oh, wait, we're going to get him with a jar. The jar cannon. Snowball will do it, too. Yeah, you probably don't want a jar because you could get bombed here. That's fair. Notoriety is a thing, I guess. The NBA has this pool of forgettables, like Larry Hughes, and I'm not a big NBA person, so like I wouldn't know anybody anyway. football was my thing. It still kind of is, but, like, I appreciate other sports, and, like, if I'm watching ESPN, or I'm, like, we go out to eat and it's a sports bar or something, it's like, whatever's on, I'll watch it, I don't care. Or I'm at somewhere, I'll watch ESPN, and whatever sports stories comes on, but, like, I don't know who the hell anyone is. So one thing I'll say, Marky had indicated in the notes here that they live with 30 HP on their heart. I could see this being like a rather dominant game, but our hero suddenly is in dire straits very quickly just because it's Mount Blight. Like, look at this. This is 5 panic points to 3. That adds up. It adds up very quickly, but we're going to equalize the panic points. 6 keys to 7 remaining. Notably, since our hero was able to eliminate the bad guy Oopsie Baby, this wasn't really a contest of Oopsie Babies either. Just throwing that out there. But I feel like we're a little misled with the notes. However, Oopsie Baby on this map is a very valuable asset, similar to an Innoculus or an Attractor in the same sort of scenario because of the way this map is structured. Even more so than it would be on other maps. But bad guy, to their credit, has 2 bombs. Moffat bit the dust. No displacement from either player. 0 keys for bad guy. How is Marky going to respond with their 7 keys? Right now we're doing the dance, and we're seemingly very comfortable allowing... Ooh, bad sheep. There are 2 spas, but there are a couple phobies... Well, really just Stabby that would have a challenging time getting there. The others probably can get there without too much issue. So we're going to get the dive onto Stabby. I don't hate this, both because the Stabby is going to have a challenging time, as mentioned, to get back to the spa, but I'm pretty sure there's no way for bad guy to kill the bad sheep, meaning that it could then recover itself. I think it's going to be out of commission for a bit, but it's not the end of the world. And now you can just kind of wait out the Stabby dying to the point. Like, that's over 1,000 damage on that. Oh my god. Yikes. So now you just need to not get the sheep blommed, which, like, it would have to be on this line. Like, it's the same line of tiles as the lava, or the bottom one. Like, just the bottom row. And that's just not going to happen. Bad guy going on the offensive. Our heroes kind of spread out, though, so they don't have a great position to collapse on, I don't think. I mean, you can beat up on this Quagmire, but is that really what you need to do? You're going to because it's there, but... The power down's a much bigger deal. Because that kind of takes the Quagmire out of play for a bit. There goes the poison. That will somewhat negate or override the Mucus Man's healing factor. Quagmire does feel like it's one of those weird X-Men. I don't know if anybody else gets those videos suggested to them where it's like, these are the X-Men with the worst powers. And it's like that Penny Arcade comic where it's the Salmon and Hindsight and Salvo. And I forget that there was a 4th one that I forget. Or maybe it was only 3. But it's like all these like X-Men with useless or terrible powers. Like the Salmon was just literally a fish. Did I see the trailer for the new Spider-Man show? No, I didn't even know there was going to be one. I watched, I did watch the Warhammer Secret Level show, episode, whatever, today. Alright, gotta stabilize that heart, it looks like. Bad guy, fairly aggressive positioning. Are we going to go for the bomb here? The double bomb? Double bomb? You could double bomb here. Can you? No, because we had just used that on the previous turn. Duh. Oh, no. It's true. We only allow links to the hub. Oh, the ads are on, too, so nobody's even going to see this. People watch it on YouTube, you got to come to the live stream, because you don't know what the hell is going on here. Stabilizing. Are we stabilizing? Ooh, this is going to be a lot. This one's going to hurt. Oof. That is, in fact, 30 HP. Yeah, this one was kind of what I had. Not quite what I had in mind, but fairly close, where it's like... Our hero wasn't in complete control of the game, but pretty close to control of the game, if not in actual control of the game. But because of the nature of the map, you can still get these wins, which is, are you actually in control of the game, since there was still an avenue for your opponent to hypothetically win? But either way, very well played by Marky here to ensure that they could still claim victory. Alright, that's fair enough. Yeah, I haven't checked on Mythgard Hub in a while, but I'm glad that it still exists. I have put other sites on the allow list over time. I don't remember any of them off the top of my head, but it's usually like whatever the active game is at the moment. So I should add, like, say, the Phobies wiki, but I don't think anyone has ever tried to link to the Phobies wiki, so, like, it's never mattered and come up. So, out of lack of necessity. Alright, chat, we're going to finish the way we started, sort of. We got 2 dearh games to close things out. The first one is hanging by a thread, because we're banking to 6 on turn 1. Let me explain something. You never want to do this. I don't think Karst will have to chime in. I'm sure Karst will have watched this. Like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody do that intentionally and win the game because of that. I guess even unintentionally. Like, have I seen people do it and win? Yes. But is there a reason to, like, a valid reason to do it? Probably not. Like, you're pretty much always better off just engaging on turn 1. You might have link posting privileges anyway, Atona. Which I don't think I can change Noah's status from here. I have to do that in a different menu that I have to, like, actually log into the Twitch dashboard for. Like, you might have different link posting privileges. Tractor coming out of our hero. I almost said bad guy. That's the, the Freudian slip with a tractor. That's something in my eye, chat. That's bothering me. Pay to win ass chat. No, Tona isn't one of those. Like, the VIP is actually a bestowed status. It's independent from subscriber. Our bad hero. Maybe he's an anti-hero for using a tractor. What do you think, dearh? I know you've commented on other videos, so I know you're watching. I know you're watching. It's like Santa, except not all the time. It's a part-time Santa Claus. Cerberus. I don't hate it. Into a tractor on this map, you can kind of funnel through the choke and then hope that your opponent's entire team doesn't blow up your Cerberus. Maybe. Kind of. Hopefully. Possibly. Sort of. Conceivably. Potentially. I was about to say, how the hell did you get 2 Bowmangles for a second? Like, for a second, my brain was like, but there's only 1 Bowmangles. But Mr. Giggles. It's actually just Giggles, but... I was telling people, there's this YouTube account that I follow that does, like, silly little animations, and they do shorts. And one of them... Like, they take audio from other things. And one of them... I don't know if they recorded the audio for this, because I'd never heard it. But it says something like, if this is the Grinch, I'd hate to see the Frounch. I laughed so hard, because that is just one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. But it was so funny. I don't know why, but it was so funny. And it, like, because they have this little animation where it's like, it's the Grinch, but then they made the Grinch the Frounch. And it was just so stupid. It was so funny. It is, like, gotta be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And I don't know where it came from. I should go find it and see if, like, they credited the audio or if they recorded it themselves or something. Oh, we getting a tractor pull. That's a weird detonation, but to be honest, because of the block up here, it's entirely possible that our hero could just race. Like, how are you going to dislodge these guys? Oh, by the way, they're mechanical, so tick, get wrecked. Oh my god. Dude, the offense here. Has dearh cracked the code? This is how you end games? Dude, Tiny Tim, get out of here. Christmas is over. Stop with Tiny Tim. Scrooge did not repent, and guess what? Tiny Tim, he didn't make it. Get out. Get out. It is going to be a colossal pain in the ass, though, to like, power through this Tiny Tim. You're going to have to sink so much damage into it. Yikes. That's a Cerberus on the heart. 1,510 damage. Bad guy making a game of it. Down goes Bowmangles. Sabian's not long for this world either. And you kind of have to race. Because even if you pull the Cerberus, you're not killing it. It's like getting a Baconator. A Baconator on Christmas. Dude, that's going to go on my bucket list, to have someone gift me a Baconator on Christmas. But not like, oh, I'll take you out to Wendy's to get one. No, I want them to show up with a boxed Baconator. Watch Wendy's, like, phase out the Baconator. Dude, what? 72. Barely beating previous hero's record of 30. Bad guy couldn't quite get there. Hero winning the race. GG. Seems good. Seems good. Unfortunately, that closes me out of their profile, so I have to pull up dearh again. Actually, it doesn't. I must have closed it by accident. We'll put that aside for the moment. dearh, step right up. Good game. I'll be the judge of that. I don't think I've ever had a Baconator. Typically, if I'm at Wendy's, I'm getting a chili and a baked potato. I've met a number of people who really like their chili, and it's fine. Like, I like it because it's not super sweet. I don't know if people are big into getting chili at places as opposed to, like, making chili at home or something, but I've gotten chili at a number of places, and a lot of people make it very sweet. And you can ask my wife, like, I can't eat sweet foods. And this is not, like, a diabetic thing. I shouldn't have sweet foods because of that. But, like, I don't like super sweet. I just don't like the taste of super sweet things. So it's, like, I can't do it. It bothers me every time my wife's like, oh, I got you chili from wherever. I'm like, okay, great. And I go to eat it, and it's just like, ugh. Why does this taste like apples? Like, it's not supposed to taste like that. Dial? Alright. Sure. I had chili this morning. I had chili last week? Question mark? We had it recently. I've been eating a lot of food that I shouldn't be having. Which is what prompted my earlier comment on, ooh, we get the heebie-jeebies special. Setting up the lock. Bad guy does have 2 keys available, though. Let's see how they respond. Not in range to eliminate any of the 1 keys, and of course, locking our hero out of doing anything too cute, or locking bad guy out of doing anything too cute because they can't, like, they just don't have the movement capabilities. And their response is Furnace Face? I don't know about that one. That seems sketchy. I don't make sweet chili typically. I do like making my chili on the spicy side. I know a lot of people don't like as much heat in their chili as I do. I was actually gifted a bunch of hot sauces for Christmas by a friend, by some family, and I don't think I'm going to use them in chili, but yeah, I can tell when my wife is making chili, like I can smell the cayenne. We both like spicy things, so she does not make like a sweeter chili. She makes one that most people would probably consider spicier, but for me, it's still like, I don't want to say it's bland because that sounds like I'm insulting it because I do like it when she makes chili. But to me, it's milder because we like spicy stuff. Like we got Pizza Hut today. And we always, whenever we order pizza, it's always like half pepperoni and half jalapeno, or, you know, some combination thereof. And it was notable that whatever the Pizza Hut by us does, they don't, like, cook out the spicy. Dude, a second heebie-jeebie special? Now, that's a treat. You don't see that very often. But, like, however they prepared it, and we've gotten from this particular Pizza Hut multiple times. It's the one near us. Like, the way they cook it does not cook out all the spiciness. Like, you ever have that where it's like, oh, I'll get jalapenos with whatever it is. But when they prepare it, it's cooked so much that, like, it cooks off all the spice. Like, there's actually a taste to the jalapenos. Which is always a pleasant surprise where it's like, oh, there's actually jalapenos on this. Our hero's like a million miles ahead, by the way. Like, I don't know what to say. The fact that they successfully executed 2 heebie-jeebie specials is actually impressive. Bad guy's response with Furnace Face is like, I don't know what your plan is, pal, but this ain't it. A strawberry jalapeno flavored energy drink sounds heinous. Tasted like the smell of fresh jalapeno. Wait, tasted like the smell of fresh jalapenos. But jalapeno strawberry? That sounds awful. I'm not a big energy drink person. Which, I feel like I should be. I'm just not. Tentacles! Pow. Down goes Cassowary. It sounds terrible, but it was good. Fair. I sometimes make a sweeter chili if my niece is coming over because she doesn't do spicy. I've considered disowning her. Your taste, like your literal taste buds, change a lot over time. That is a very damaging furnace face. But I gotta be honest, it's not good enough. Rusty connecting on the werewolf. Dude, is this actually gonna die? Alright, at least he gets a flesh crawler, but I got bad news, bad guy. That sure looks like click the end turn button and the game's over. That looks like click the end turn button and the game's over. That looks like click the end turn button and the game's over. That looks like click the end turn button and the game's over. Ah, game's over. Told you. We did get the third heebie-jeebie special, though, in a funnier spot, so, yeah. Fair. Fair. Oh. But that's going to do it for tonight. Those are all of our viewer games. If you're interested in Monster of the Week, our weekly tournament series where it's free to play, everything's set to level 1, you get coffee just for participating, hit up the link in the description for the Random Thoughts Discord. That's also where you can submit games, get them here on stream/YouTube. But as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.